The next game we're going to talk about is Set. It's one of my favorite card games. They have it at Five Below, but it's Be Warned. We have one in the clinic, I think, from there, and it's really small deck. Not worth it. Definitely buy the full version. The deck of cards looks kind of like this. I introduce it to the client. I use these cards a lot. And I introduce each card and I say, okay, each card has 4 qualities. It has a color, purple, red, or green. It has a color, it has a shape. So we've got oval is what I call this one. I call this one a squiggle. And then I call this one a diamond. Sometimes I just say I don't care what shape you call it, as long as you're consistent. Some people call this a wig, or this one a wiggle. Doesn't matter. So we've done color, shape, and then the next quality would be number. So this is 1, this is 2, and then this is 3. Easy. Then the last one is fill. This one's the more complicated or abstract one. People kind of like, what? I'm not sure I understand that. Fill, I explain, it's what's filled in the inside. So this one is empty or blank, some people will call it. This one is full, solid, don't care. And this one has lines. You can see that. So each card has 4 qualities. So this one is purple, squiggle, 2, and lines. So I think I've never actually played this game how it's supposed to, but I'm going to try to teach you how to do that first. So if you have 2 people, essentially you set, and you would modify on level of difficulty, but you'd set 12 cards up in like a rectangle, so 2 rows of 6. Make sure you can see those. And what you would do is go as quick as possible, and a set is any 3. So you have to find 3 cards that match the same shape, color, number, or fill, those 4 qualities that I said. Again, sometimes if we've got some memory impairment and we're just introducing this activity, I'll write it down just on a scratch piece of paper and let them reference it. And if they keep asking you, I'll refer to my cheat sheet. I'll say, what does this say? So what are the 4 qualities? And so then they're a little more independent and less reliant on you. So in here, you might say red, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 red, that makes up a set. They're the same color. You might say there's 3 squiggle, that makes a set. 3 purple, or 3 2s, 3 lines, or stripes, whatever you call them. They're all striped in the middle. Once you call that out, it's kind of a speed game. I would say 3 stripes, and then I would pick these cards up, and that would be a set. Okay, and then you kind of go back and forth. So you might say diamond, and then here. And then that would be like I won round 1. I had 2 sets. I had my fill match, and then I had my diamond match. So that's how to play with 2 people. It's not my favorite way to play, but thought I'd introduce that. You could also set that up solitaire and just have, okay, maybe 6 cards. Let me do it just so you can see. So you can modify it as appropriate. Ooh, these do not look like they were shuffled well. And you might say, okay, can you find a set with fill? And there's none here. So you might say, okay, how about shape? 3, 3, 3. Okay, so those match on shape. Do the last three match on anything? You might say color. So that's the only thing they match on, all three of them. You could also make a set be two. So you could just say a pair instead of a set. And that would, again, change the level of difficulty. So one of the things I love to do with this, I've never used it the two ways I just showed you. So I just want to shuffle these just a little. Sometimes I'll have them, I'll say, okay, I'm going to put two piles, and to make it easier, I'll show y'all. I'm going to rip a piece of paper. And I might say, we're going to make two piles. And in this pile, I want color and I want number. I don't think y'all can see that, but I just wrote color, color and number over here. And in this pile, I would do the other two, which would be fill and shape. Okay, so again, this would, so we've got color, number, fill, and shape. And I'd put those down, and then I'd give them the deck of cards, and I would say, okay, you could either count out like 50 cards and time how long it takes for them to sort those two cards going back and forth. Or you could set a timer for 3 minutes and say, okay, I want you to go back and forth saying these, and then you would do plus or minus on if they're correct. So you wouldn't want to interrupt them because you're tallying accuracy. So again, color, number, fill, and shape. So they would flip this over, and this card looks like this. So if I started here, I would say 1 red or red 1. I don't care the order. Okay, and so that would be a plus for you, and you have started your timer. And then they'd go to this one, and they would say the fill, clear, empty, whatever, just make sure they're consistent, and oval, and then put it down. And so if they cover, just here's another hint, if they cover their cues, it's going to be harder. They're not going to have that for reference. So if you want them to reference, again, just modify it. Keep it above, the descriptions above where they can see it. And you'll be able to see them processing and reading that and having to go through that steps, that little slower processing, so it'll take more time. So when they pick this card and they might say, 3 green, yeah, and you'd have them go back and forth. So that's another way I use these cards, and it can be modified. The other thing I might do is I then might take control of the deck, and I might say, okay, we're going to keep, you've done this before, cool, you get it, you know the 4 qualities of the card, we've been doing this for a few weeks and modifying it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cards in a pile, and I want you to do, and we're still going to do it for 3 minutes or however long it is, but now you have control, and so I might say, okay, and I might put that card here. Again, you can put it here or on top of it, and you might say, okay, go ahead. Anytime I put a card down, you're going to do the color and number. So this would be 2 red. But instead of going here now, I might say, okay, go here again. So now you have 3 purple. And now we're going to switch. And so now you have fill. So you might have solid and oval. Diamond, empty. Diamond, solid. Green, 1. And so you're really having to slow them down and think, but you're in control. So they don't know, there's kind of that unpredictable factor if they're going back to that or if you're alternating. So you have control of that a little more. So that's another way you can use these cards. There's some cheaters and modify it. The other thing you could do is on a sheet of paper, you might pick 4 of the qualities. So there's 4 qualities. So you might pick 1 color. So every time you see a red one, you're going to name a food. Every time you see 1 item, you're going to name a state. not real creative tonight. Every time you see a solid one, you're going to name a store, and then every time, so we've got a fill, we've got a number, color, and then what was the other? Shape. So every time you see a diamond, you're going to say a color. Okay, so now, kind of, here's our little cheat. Ooh, 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 there we go. So now, you'd give them a card. So it's red, so they might have to say hamburger. There's 2. There's no, it's solid, so you might say Dillard's. Ooh, throwback. And then there's no diamond, so you just have 2 for that one. All right. So it's purple, there's 3, it's empty, and it's not a diamond, so nothing there. So this one you would have at least the diamond, so you might say a color, any color. I might say purple. Oh, uh-oh, see, I already messed up. Huh. And then there's only 1, so you might say Texas, whatever it is. So again, when you have a speed component, I would be careful. If you add a speed component, you're more likely to do what I just did, which I have not had a head injury as far as I know, so little borderline neurotypical stuff. So just make sure that if you're doing this, you might put this as a memory task for like half the session, and then see how they go just at a pace, and then build on that. Set, worth it.